Hello everyone, welcome to the Geekdom, the place where we outcasts come to talk about the things we love, and today we're talking LEGO Star Wars. What a surprise, it's all I talk about at the minute. I am loving the Bad Batch, and specifically, I love TK Troopers. The prototype Stormtroopers are so cool, they're like my favourite style of armour for any trooper in Star Wars now. I love them so much, and I was like, you know what, I have to make an entire video just dedicated to them. So today we're taking a look at the Imperial Prototype Stormtrooper Battle Pack. Now one thing you may notice is, we've got a different setup going on. I'm just waiting on some new equipment and stuff, and this is the best way I could make videos. I mean, the regular setup is back there, but today we are in this new one. So this is just a temporary setup. We'll be back to the original place shortly. Okay, I've got two types of troopers for you today. I've got the TK Proto Troopers, like the early edition Stormtroopers, which I love so much, and we've got Imperial Commandos. I love Clone Commandos, they're so cool. LEGO, we need some Clone Commandos now. But, and I can't get too excited, we're going to jump in with the TK Troopers, okay? Now, the armor for these guys, I'm going to say it, it's cooler than clones. It's cooler than Stormtroopers, okay? I think these guys look awesome. I love them. I've been desperate to do these guys since like season 1, so really happy with how they turned out. We're going to go from bottom to top today. We're going to switch some stuff up. So the leg, you've got some very basic printing. It's kind of just like a combination of clone trooper armor, stormtrooper armor. It's like all of it slapped together. Obviously this is the in-between, so it kind of makes sense. I like my troopers to kind of have that little black bit in the top corner of their legs to kind of show the bit of cloth underneath. It really annoys me when LEGO doesn't put that in their figures. Thankfully they've started doing it with their clones, so that's made me very happy. Once again, it's very basic. A lot of the Stormtroopers, they have like these cool like greeblies and stuff going around their legs. These guys don't. It's very plain, very all like uniform, which I really like. It makes them a lot scarier. Moving up the waist, it's got no printing. It's just very bland. And then the torso is where a lot of the actual custom detail comes from. Now the torso, it's got some weird looking armor. Like you've got these sort of like cylindrical shapes on the chest, like the more armored sections, which look kind of weird, but I kind of dig it. They've got like the classic Stormtrooper belt, so I just basically ripped that off one of the old Stormtrooper minifigures, and it looks really cool. I love that sort of design. It's very militaristic, very Imperial. Big fan of that. The ab section, I think it's like an oxygen tank. They have this weird sort of like rectangle on their ab, and I think that must be like some sort of oxygen tank or something. We don't actually have an explanation for what that is, but it's just kind of like this big chunky rectangle in the middle of their ab section. So I've slapped that on there. It's a very plain torso, I'm not gonna lie. Like I think that's why I like it so much, because it's so simple. I love how individual all the clones are with all the colours on their armour and stuff, but there's just something so frightening about these guys because they've got nothing. They're all just like an endless mass. I think that's really cool. The arms have their own custom printing. They've got that, like, if you watch A New Hope again after you've watched like a ton of Clone Wars or something, the armor on their arms of Stormtroopers is so drastically different, and I never noticed it that much before. They've got these giant shoulder pads, like they cover like most of their bicep. They're huge. So I slapped those on here. You know, they're kind of like dangly in A New Hope. I don't know. I tried to kind of like lay it over all the other pieces of armor. They have got like another bicep section underneath it, but it's just kind of like a plain bit of white armor. I suppose it's also kind of like part of like their elbow armor as well. But yeah, that big shoulder pauldron is covering most of it. And then they've just got like standard Imperial like forearm armor. Like I just kind of looked at what Clone Troopers had, what Stormtroopers had, and then the few good pictures of TK Troopers that I could find for some reason. I had to go back and watch a ton of episodes because I cannot find images of these guys anywhere. They have basically just Stormtrooper wrist armor. I thought they might have clones, but no, Stormtrooper. Now the helmet. Now the helmet is the most difficult part of this, and it took me a long time. I love the helmet for these guys. I think they have the coolest looking helmet out of any trooper ever. So I didn't want to just do like a reskin of a clone or a reskin of a Stormtrooper. So I have made an entirely new mold, and honestly, I'm pretty pleased with it. It's not often that I do helmet molds as complicated as this. So yeah, this was a real goddamn challenge, especially with the lack of like images that I could find of the helmet. But what I did was I combined a Clone Trooper Phase 2 helmet, a Stormtrooper helmet, and one of the Imperial like helmets, like the one that Admiral Veers has. Is it Admiral? General. General Veers. Yeah, I think it's General Veers. He has on his head. So I just kind of smushed all of those together and created like a really cool texture to go over it. Now, the one thing I don't like about the helmet is the mouth section. I don't know what it was. I could not fix it. The way that it kind of overlaid on the mesh, it did not like the mouth. I fixed what I could. I'm still pleased with it. I think it looks cool, but it's the only thing that I'm kind of iffy on this trooper. The top of the helmet has those like little triangles. I don't actually know what they mean. They're just kind of a part of all of these guys' armors. So I put those on there. You've got that one triangle, and then you've got like the broken up triangle there. I love the visors on these guys because they're like giant visors with like the brow of the sort of upper helmet like comes over them, and I think that looks really, really awesome. I especially like the visor on the poncho trooper in that one episode because I think that just looked really cool because he had those goggles over it as well. I might make a figure of that one day now that I've got this sort of base model down. Let me know if there's anything from Bad Batch you want me to make. I'm absolutely in love with that show, so I will make any Bad Batch suggestions you have. But as for this guy, it's just a plain trooper. He's got those big sort of like oxygen tank nozzle things on the bottom. We've seen some of the pilots plug the oxygen tanks into there, which I think looks really, really cool. And yeah, it's kind of bulky, but I kind of like it, and it really makes for a well-rounded figure. It looks like a great prototype Stormtrooper. Okay, people, so my camera just died, but it's fully charged now. In the time it took to charge it, I just went and watched the Bad Batch. Oh my god! Oh my god, the latest episodes, unreal. Go and watch them. Go and watch them now. They're insane. They're insane. And in those episodes, the TK Troopers and the bloody Commandos, terrifying. Terrifying. So we're going to take a look at the Commandos now. Oh my god. I didn't want to go for plain Commandos, right? I didn't want to just go all white, because that just gets boring. You know? But what the show has introduced to us is these sort of like Imperial colour schemes with these big grey sections going all down them. So here they are, right? And I love them. I think they look great. We're going to start with the helmet. The helmet was a custom mod by me. A lot easier for some reason than the TK ones. I really like how this turned out. I think the visors specifically look so cool. The prints with like the gradient from blue to black look great. Love that. The stripe going from the top of the helmet all the way down to the chin section there looks really good. It's very Clone Commando. I love it. It really makes me think about the game, and I love the look of these helmets. Now, Clone Commando armor is some of my favorite armor ever, and that's just a recent thing. The Bad Batch has made me just appreciate it so much. And I am really desperate to do some more figures like this. I'd love to do Gregor. I'd love to do Scorch. You know what I mean? So here we have the torso. Now, I started with the Hunter torso print because he wears, as you can see here, my little guy here. He wears Clone Commando armor, just recolored and stuff for his Bad Batch uniform. So I started with that as a base, and then I changed a bunch of stuff about it. I changed the collar section specifically because it was like way too high. I'd brought it down a little bit, added some texturing to make it more accurate to the show, and then I changed a bunch of the colors on the ab section and stuff, and I did my own detail work there as well. I also used some stuff from like my crosshair figure and stuff, so it's all just kind of come together to make this really cool looking design for the armor. He's got the grey stripe, as I said, down the middle, and his ab section is in a darker grey as well. Most of the suit is white, but there are those really nice grey highlights just to match the show. I love that the ab sections are darker grey. It really makes it pop. When I've looked at other Clone Commandos before, I always think they're missing just that little bit of colour on the ab. So I think this looks just so good. He's got like little darker grey sections on the belt area, and then his hips are, well, they're just kind of like, they've got that same printing as my crosshair, but in obviously changed colours and stuff. Now the legs, I started off with a base of just plain everything. I did a entirely plain Clone Commando basically. Torso, legs, hips, everything. And then I added all the grey stuff to make them look Imperial. So the legs, the base layer, I do have somewhere like some plain legs for Clone Commandos, but I just slapped some grey lines on there, and it made it those Imperial ones. I think even that just really makes these guys like look really menacing. I don't know, like all of the grey stuff, it just makes me think of Cody and how they've taken all the colour out of all the clones and stuff. I just find it so freaky and just so intimidating. The arms have a lot of new printing on them. They're pretty cool. They've got the like under sleeve and stuff that I used for my crosshair, but then the like actual wrist braces, and they've got these massive shoulder pads because Clone Commandos, you know, they've got those giant shoulder armor. I was toying with the idea of having like a big bulky piece of armor over the top of it, like with the Wrecker figure, but it didn't look right. I must say, it just really didn't. It didn't look right, and I think the sleek sort of regular minifigure look looks better, and it fits in with all the other troopers a lot nicer. So obviously they're missing that bulk around the shoulders, but I think that's okay because I mean the printing on the arms looks great, so I think it kind of cancels out. I think it's still a really well detailed figure and stuff. I think it just slightly offsets the helmet slightly. So bulkier shoulders would be great, but you know, I'm working with what looks the best for the overall figure. So no shoulder. Every figure in the set obviously comes with your standard Lego blaster. And I don't know, I always forget to put accessories on my figures, but I really think it makes my Star Wars ones stand out. So I love doing it. I really want to do some cool renders soon of like just frames from the Bad Batch and stuff with all these guys. I've just loved that show so much. I'm so excited to see where it goes next. Well, everyone, thank you very much for watching. I do hope you have enjoyed. If you have, feel free to like and subscribe down below. The channel is doing so well at the minute. I'm just so unbelievably pleased. So yeah, feel free to hit that like and subscribe down below. And also, give me a comment, you know? Tell me your favourite Star Wars character, tell me your favourite trooper, and tell me what you think of the Bad Batch. But anyway, everyone, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you later. May the Force be with you, always.